love those kids with the big eyes.
I'm not ready to go yet.
You don't want to go? Please don't start in. As it is, I'm still nauseous from the climb.
The climb? What climb?
Oh, I climbed up the drain pipe. Did you know that those things actually break?
You broke my drain pipe?
It didn't really break. It's a little bent. Didn't you hear anything? I slammed into the ground.
I was reading.
You must have really been engrossed. Angelina Jolie gives birth to aliens. Can I hold this?
I'm not finished.
I don't know how to put this to your pal.
Why didn't you just ring the doorbell downstairs like every other person would?
I'm telling you, I could have, but how does it look? I mean, I'm deaf. Let's make it a little drama going. Something. Did you read Faust?
What?
And what if you had company? You're sitting here with important people. I'm deaf. I should ring the bell downstairs and Shapes right in the front. Where's your thinking, man?
Listen, mister, it's getting late.
Yeah. Well, you want to go?
Go where?
Death. It's the thing. The happy hunting ground. You know, this is a pretty bad cut. It's my first job. I'm liable to get gangrene yet.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe you're deaf.
Why? What do you expect? Nicolas Cage?
No. More of a Bruce Willis type.
I actually consider myself more like a Brad Pitt kind of person.
Oh, I can see it in the hair.
Oh, really? I'm glad. Anyways, I'm sorry that I disappointed you then.
Don't be upset, I figured you'd be taller.
I'm 6'1". Okay, fine, I'm 5'7". That's average for my weight.
Well, I'm not ready to go yet. I need more time.
What do you need it for? The radio's at rain tomorrow anyways.
Can't we work something out?
Like what?
You play chess?
Nope, I don't.
I've seen a picture of you playing chess before.
Couldn't be me because I don't play chess. Gin rummy, maybe.
You play rummy?
Do I play rummy? Is Paris a city?
You're good then.
I'm very good.
Well, I'll tell you what
No,
I'll do.
no. Don't make any deals with me.
I'll play you in rummy. If I win, I get an extra day. If you win, I'll go with you immediately.
I really shouldn't do that.
Come on, I got the cards right here.
Alright, come on. We're
All right.
fair.
You won't regret this. So, you want that too?
No.
Then pick.
Jeez, I got nothing here.
What's it like?
What's what like?
Death.
What should it be like? You lay there.
Is there anything after?
You're saving tools, right?
I'm asking, is there anything after?
Well, you'll see.
I'll see something?
Well, maybe I shouldn't have put it that way. Pick.
To get an answer out of you is a big deal.
I'm playing cards. Give me a break.
All I want to know is, how do I go down?
Well, to tell you the truth, you fall in a crumpled heap on the floor.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait. Does it hurt?
Be over in a second.
Great. The floor.
Hmm?
Why can't this thing go down and I'm out by the couch?
Because you fall on the floor. Can we play cards now?
All I'm asking is, why can't it go down and I die on the couch?
I'll try my best, okay? Can we proceed?
You know, you remind me of my friend Mo. He's also really stubborn.
I'm one of the most terrifying figures you could possibly imagine. And him, I remind of Mo. What is he, a baker?
He'll be such a faker. He's good for 80,000 a year pescemetery. He's got his own factory. 2 points.
What?
2 points, I'm knocking.
Man, it's like a basketball score.
And it's all spades.
If you didn't talk that much.
So you mentioned this was your first job. What do you mean by that?
What does it sound like?
You're saying no one else went before me?
Sure they went, but I didn't take them.
Who did?
Others?
There's others?
Yeah. Of course, everybody has his own personal way of going.
I didn't know that.
Why should you? Who are you?
Who am I? Why? I'm nothing?
You're not nothing. You are a dress manufacturer. I mean, where do you come to knowledge of the eternal...
I'll have you know, Buster! I make a beautiful dollar. I have 2 kids. One's a teacher, the other one's a doctor. My wife gets whatever she wants. Maids, mink coats, vacations. Right now she's touring Australia with her sister. You think I'm just some guy off the streets?
Alright. Don't be so touchy.
Who's touchy?
How would you like it if I got insulted?
Did I insult you?
You didn't say you were disappointed in me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You come in here trying to steal my water and Fresca, and then of all things you want to kill me?
First of all, I still haven't gotten any water or Fresca, okay? Second, I'm sorry about your drain pipe. Third, we're done. Let's count.
Okay. 187 to 113. I win.
No!
Yeah. I beat you. Looks like I get an extra day.
What?
Yeah, we were playing for time.
You totally make that up.
No, I
didn't know
didn't.
that.
I told you you're playing for time.
What do you want me to do for a day, for 24 hours?
I don't care. I get an extra day, and that's all that matters to me.
What do you want me to do, walk the streets?
Go to a hotel, get a spa, rent a movie. I don't care. Just don't make a federal case.
Listen, I need money.
Why should you need money?
What are you talking about? You're going to the beyond.
So,
You know how far that is?
So,
Where's gas? Where's tolls?
what? We're going by a car?
You'll see. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll play again.
Alright. We'll play double or nothing. The way you play, Rummy, I got an extra year.
I'm stranded. Hey, do you know a good hotel or something? What am I talking about? I got no money. I sit in Starbucks. I just didn't make.
That is my magazine.
Couldn't just take him and go. I had to get involved in Rummy. Good game, man.
Oh,
That actually works? Oh yeah, baby. Thank you.
The greatest gift one can receive in one's lifetime is the gift of love. A Rosebud by Susan Thompson is a story of two lovers who had a love that made their lives worth living, a love that was truly never-ending. A Rosebud by Susan Thompson. I raised my eyes to stare at the banks of flowers. I wondered when I had seen so many different blossoms together in one place. Only at funerals, I decided. It was several moments before I remembered where I was. Why, I am at a funeral. I almost giggled. But then I remembered I mustn't. I'll go home and tell Brent. Then we can both laugh. The thought of the pleasure we would share made me smile until I remembered that it was not proper to smile at funerals either. The minister spoke in lofty, ethereal terms of heaven and angels. I wondered if it was really like that. Somehow the thought of spending eternity seated on a cloud, plucking a harp, didn't really appeal to me. I never really thought about it much at all, though. I would probably not have considered it at all, except for the fact that Brent said just the other day that the bit about angels and pearly gates was all a bunch of baloney. I almost smiled when I thought of that, but remembered just in time. The minister had finished speaking, and the soloist had begun to sing. The funeral director moved to the casket and opened the lid. The people in the back of the room stood up and began to file slowly toward the front. Most of them paused for a moment beside the open coffin before they moved on. The last to leave the room were my parents, my mother-in-law, and me. I moved to the casket and stared at the face of its occupant. He looks so natural, murmured my mother-in-law. It just looks like he's asleep. I just stood, staring at the body, my hands gripping the edge of the casket. My mother stood close behind me. The 6 pallbearers stood in a group to one side, waiting for us to leave. My mother took my arm gently. Come, dear, the others are waiting. I followed my mother numbly across the room and out the door. Outside, we were met by a gust of March wind and a shower of last year's dead leaves. I loved the spring, and the wind, and the flowers. I had met Brent in the spring. We had met and fallen wildly and wonderfully in love. It had been a year ago. We had been married in June on a chilly, rainy day, but it had been the most beautiful day in the work to us. I remembered the first night of our honeymoon. We had run all the way from the car to the motel so that we wouldn't get wet. And then, just when we were almost to the door, Brent had grabbed me and kissed me. We had stood there for nearly 5 minutes, madly in love and thoroughly drenched. I smiled when I thought about that, and everyone stared at me queerly. And I remembered that this was a funeral. One mustn't smile. We arrived at the cemetery. There was a canopy set up over the grave. My family and I were seated on metal folding chairs within the shelter. The casket was suspended over the hole in front of us. When all were in place, a silence fell, and the minister began to read from a small black book. A red ribbon place marker attached to the binding of the book slid out from between the pages and fluttered in the wind. I watched that ribbon and hoped that tomorrow would be windy and warmer as well. It would be Saturday, and Brent and I could go kite flying. Last year, we had taken a picnic lunch out to the country, to a big grassy hill with nothing but gorgeous blue, unobstructed sky above. We had flown a kite and run and laughed and rolled over and over down the slope in the grass. We would go again tomorrow to this same hill and fly the same kites. I knew Brent would laugh when I made the suggestion, but he would go with me anyway, and we would have a wonderful time. In my mind's eye, I saw him running up over the hill, kite string in hand, laughing and shouting, his hair blowing in his eyes. I couldn't imagine Brent growing old and gray. I felt my love for him swelling inside of me, welling up and overflowing and hurting, because it was so strong and so beautiful. Then the minister began to pray, and I remembered where I was. The happiness sank inside me because this was a funeral, and no one was happy at funerals. Prayer ended and the benediction was said. The people were leaving, and I got stiffly out of my chair. I walked to the grave and took a rosebud from the coffin. I held it to my nose and breathed its fragrance. Then I pressed it to my heart. I held that flower close, shielding it from the wind. I turned to go and found the preacher waiting to speak to me. Your husband was a good man, Mrs. Norris. I'm certain that he has gone on to a better place. God bless you. Thank you. I hurried away from him, across the graveyard toward the car, stumbling a little because of the tears that were now blurring my vision. How silly to cry, I thought. I never cry, except at sad movies and at funerals. And then I remembered I had, in fact, just been to a funeral.
Scars. The nickname stuck in high school. At first, I despised the name and avoided all humanity as a result of it. But there was no escape. I could always hear, "Scars," whispered in the hall. In time, I not only got used to the name, but as it continued, I started to become proud of it. In a way, it made me who I am today. Scars by David Ralph and Brian Weiler. I don't know why I cut myself. Maybe for the attention. Most likely because it allowed me to escape from my reality. But the fact is, it let me feel. Every time I touch them, I remember. The scars represent who I am. Each tell its own story. The first cut was here, across my bicep. I didn't even mean to do it at first. I was a freshman working on an art project. Art, my first love as a child. My teachers all said I had real talent. The assignment was to cut pictures from magazines to represent who I was. As I was cutting out a picture of a bleeding heart, I heard my mom yelling at Carl about not being able to make a car payment. I listened as the two traded verbal blows for roughly 10 minutes when, slap, I heard it echo through the house. At first, I didn't catch on to what the noise even was. But then I heard crying, and more slapping, and only Carl yelling. Seeing was just something I needed to do in order to believe. But when I opened my bedroom door, I was still in disbelief. My mom was rolled up